Hello, David Johnson again. I'm back here doing the second part of James chapter 1. We just covered the first part with the main ideas about what temptation is and how we can overcome it, and our strength and our faith in God is what gets us through that, and how we get our rewards in heaven and not on earth. Chapter 1, verses 1 through 16. Now we're ready to start verse 17 through 27 here. I'll go ahead and start us off. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of firstfruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. Now, we've got four main points here, side points here in these verses. We see God only dealing with the good gifts. He's not going to be the one tempting you to take up your old habits. He's not going to be the one possessing you. You know, with that good old line for the Exorcist thing. He's not the one making your head spin around. That stuff really. That's a whole nother. I'm not going to take up time with going through that on here. But that's not God, okay? He's not the one tempting you or trying to get you to take up your old habits of alcoholism, smoking, drugs, or whatever. God only deals with the good gifts. He deals in love. He deals with joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That's what he's going to give you. So those of you that are having problems, here's a little quick side note. Not going to get off on a rabbit trail, but here's a quick side note. Those of you that are struggling with the habits of addictions, the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. So you put God in your heart, you keep that faith in God, he'll give you the self-control to get over those addictions. If you pray for the wisdom and the strength of faith in God to get you through that. And if you take up other people to help you bear those burdens. That's in Galatians 6. We're going to cover that one a little later in a different thing. That's what the strength of the brethren is for, helping you bear your burdens, especially when you're falling into these temptations. We also see us to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath or slow to anger. Kind of the same deal. Wrath does not show God's righteousness. It kind of goes counterpoint. It just completely goes the complete opposite. And thought somebody was knocking on the door. Sorry. James is basically writing this book because he's wanting people to get rid of the old habits. If God has truly changed your life, you need to live like it. His entire reason with this book, he's noticing a lot of habits in the early church where yes, I'm a follower of God, I accept Jesus Christ. However, excuse me for a second. However, I'm not willing to change my lifestyle to show that. And we need to follow, God in our lifestyles as well. Now, verse 22, we're going to kind of pick up here. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful bearer or hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, and changes not his actions from what he's been before, he said he's, changed, but he hasn't, not willing to even change the way he talks. This man's religion is in vain. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. And this is kind of where we get the ideas for being doers and not just hearers of the word. We see true religion. I don't like it, only because James uses that word, that I'm kind of using it. The difference between true religion and false religion, or following, ideas of following Christ, are more likely. It would be more a true faith, active faith in Christ. Is an active idea and not a passive idea. Otherwise, you're kidding everybody, and more importantly than that, you're kidding yourself, because you've got to have that word in your heart to act on it, I'd imagine, as well. Be ye doers of the word and not hearers only. Well, if you don't have it in the first place, it's kind of hard to act on it, I would think. So this is kind of where you got to actively start studying the Bible and whatnot. Get in prayer groups, get in Bible studies, go to the Wednesday night, not Bible thumping stuff, but where the teaching aspect, they're not necessarily on a Wednesday night, but start going to the Wednesday night or Thursday night or whatever midweek services where ideas of what's baptism really about, things that your pastor or the teacher person in your church can start helping you about. If you want to really know these types of deals, these types of ideas from the Bible, and you want to increase your knowledge and your wisdom more importantly, you've got to have that word in you. Thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. It keeps you. It's a good way to keep you clean. What's the? We'll back up on that one. I forgot what the thing was. It's a good way to keep you kosher, to use a Jewish saying. Clean with, straight with God. How about that? We use kosher for that. Just as kind of a quick and easy way out of that one. I was digging myself a hole. Thank you guys for helping me out with that. It's easy. We kind of see also that it can be easy to forget the word. Also, and kind of put it away in the shelf, and we're not, and just, kind of sort of towards the back of everything, when we're not really willing to practice what we preach, or willing to apply what we're being taught on the Sundays or whatever, the one time we go during the week. I'm not saying it's bad to just go once a week, but if the Bible is sitting on the back shelf, not being used, you're going to forget about it. The drive isn't going to be there anymore to help other people. And you need to start practicing what you preach here. It's an active type of faith that people want. That people want. Well, yes, it's actually what people want. People want to see that. It's going into my next idea here. That I think you heard it on a DC Talk album. From the statement from Billy Graham. DC Talk linked to it. The greatest single cause of atheism in the world today is Christians who acknowledge Jesus with their lips and walk out the door and deny him by their lifestyle. That's what the unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable. I mean, how are we going to convince them that this is real and more than just words? Words in a book that sometimes we highlight and sometimes are in red, when we can't live up to them ourselves. And if we're denying the words in this book and the words in red to other people down here, to other people, and afraid to tell them about what Jesus has done for us and in our lives. I don't want Jesus doing the same thing to me when Judgment Day comes. He's going to do the same thing. If you deny me before men, I will deny you before my Father. And I don't want that happening. I don't know about you. I really don't want to see that happen. I want to be able to tell people, yes, I'm a Christian. Am I a perfect Christian? No, because that's. I like to see one, honestly. Show me one, and I'd like to sit down and talk with him and see what he's doing right. A lot of people would. Basically, I don't want Jesus to deny me because I was too tired, lazy, or busy with other types of things to even try to make an impact for Christ. It's not about how many you reach, it's the fact that you're trying to reach them. Okay? You need to start trying. The idea that the drive is there and you're trying to act on it, God will give you the increase. I kind of sum up here on that last verse. It kind of goes back to James using his spotless and true religion type thing. The fatherless and the widows is his idea of keeping an active faith going relative to that time period in the early church, first century AD. Does it still apply today? Yes. I'm not going to say no, but yes. But there's other ways we can do. I would be concerned myself more with the second half of that. Visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Now, there's two ways to look at that word unspotted. We just got on the fact that you don't need to be hiding yourself. That doesn't mean you're hiding from everybody, as in nobody can spot you. It means to go back to what Billy Graham was saying. You keep your life, you're willing to keep your life straight for God and live for God. You're not hiding from everybody. You're keeping your life spotless, or as spotless as you can be, through the grace of Jesus. And He's always willing to take you back. And remember that, and remember to tell people that. Don't tell them you're perfect. Don't tell them you work for a perfect God. I ain't perfect, but He is, and He lets me, He lets me start over every time. So, with that kind of sums up the second half of that chapter, and I think I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I'm working on as a quick thing, I'm closing up here, I'm working on the camera stuff, so give me some feedback on that, give me some theological feedback, and I hope to hear a lot from everybody. Thank you very much. God bless.